The storm never ended on Titan. Dark orange clouds swirled across the sky. Rain fell slowly, like thick oil pooling on the frozen ground. The air was poisonous. The cold could kill in minutes. But deep beneath her helmet, Riley Carter smiled. She had found something. Riley stood on a ridge of icy rock, her boots gripping the slick surface. Behind her, a black shape waited, a small landing craft, barely the size of a van, the only thing between her and endless space. It hissed quietly, its heat keeping the frost at bay. Her eyes scanned the valley below. A signal was coming from down there. It was weak, nearly lost in the static, but it was real, and it wasn't natural. Something was still working on Titan. Riley tapped her wrist screen. Numbers flickered. The signal had a pattern, short bursts, then long ones. A code? Maybe. Her breath fogged the inside of her helmet as she stared down into the mist. Lightning flashed far off. The storm rolled like a living thing. She had 1 hour. Her oxygen wouldn't last longer. She climbed down the ridge, careful not to slip. Each step made her suit creak. She was alone. Her team, 4 scientists and 2 pilots, was gone. They had vanished 3 days ago. No signal, no trace. Only Riley had made it back to the lander. She didn't know why. She didn't know how. Now, something was calling her. At the bottom of the ridge, the ground leveled out. Giant chunks of ice jutted from the soil like teeth. Between them, a black opening gaped. It looked like a cave, but too perfect. The shape was too smooth. She stepped closer. The signal grew stronger. Her heart pounded. Inside the cave, it was dark. Her helmet light cut a narrow path through the blackness. The walls were metal, not rock. Old, scratched metal covered in frost. She touched it. Cold burned through her gloves. This was no cave. It was a structure. Riley moved forward, each step echoing. The airlock door stood ahead. Round, sealed, silent. She reached out, hand trembling. Her glove brushed the panel. Nothing happened. She pressed again, harder. With a loud click, the door hissed open. Air rushed past her, stale and bitter. Lights flickered on inside, dim and yellow. The smell of dust and rust filled her nose. She walked in. The room was empty, just metal walls, a cracked floor, and something in the center. A machine. It stood 6 feet tall, shaped like a cube, with wires snaking out from every side. Some were cut. Others blinked with faint lights. A screen on the front glowed, showing strange symbols. They moved and changed like they were alive. Riley's voice cracked in the silence. "What are you?" The machine didn't answer, but the symbols shifted again. Her wrist screen beeped. The signal was coming from here. Her mind raced. Who built this? NASA? No. This tech was old, rusted, forgotten. She stepped closer. A small panel lay open on the side of the machine. Inside was a nameplate, covered in grime. She wiped it clean. Property of VASTON Industries, Earth, 2137. Her stomach dropped. That was over 100 years ago. Vaston had been one of the first companies to send missions beyond Mars. They vanished decades ago. All their missions failed. No survivors, no data, no answers. But here was a machine, still working, still sending signals, alone on Titan. And Riley had found it. The screen on the machine flashed. A soft beep echoed in the chamber. She looked down. A message had appeared in English. "Help me." Her breath caught. She stepped back, heart racing. The machine beeped again. "I remember you." She stared. Her hand shook. "I've never been here," she whispered. The machine replied, "Yes, you have." A sound came from behind her. Footsteps. Riley spun around. No one was there. Her helmet light swung across the room. Empty. The machine's screen flickered again. "Time is running out." The lights dimmed. The floor shook. A low hum filled the air. Riley's wrist screen flashed red. Storm approaching. She had to leave. Now. But her eyes locked on the machine. "Help me." It was still sending the signal. Still calling her. She had to decide. Run back to the lander and leave this machine behind. Or stay and find out who or what was inside. Riley couldn't breathe. The machine's words echoed in her mind. "I remember you." Her hands trembled. Her heart pounded in her ears. She backed toward the door, eyes fixed on the screen. "Help me!" The floor rumbled again. Dust shook loose from the ceiling. The storm was getting stronger. Her wrist screen blinked. 45 minutes of oxygen left. She had to think. Riley turned and ran to the door, but it didn't open. She slammed her hand against the panel. Nothing. The machine beeped. "Don't leave me again." Her blood turned cold. "I've never been here," she shouted. "I don't know you." The machine flickered. Then the screen changed. Images. Blurry faces. A lab. People in white suits. One face stood out. It was her. Younger. Smiling. Standing next to the machine, she stumbled back. "No, that's not me. That can't be." But it was. Same eyes. Same scar on her eyebrow. Same face. Her voice cracked. "What is this? What are you showing me?" The screen flashed again. "You created me." Riley shook her head. "I'm a pilot, not a scientist. I didn't build anything." Quote, "The machine beeped louder. The hum grew stronger. You were part of the Vaston project." "No," she whispered. "That was 100 years ago." "I wasn't even born." The screen changed again. They lied. Her breath caught. Her knees felt weak. Outside, the storm howled. Lightning cracked. The structure groaned under the force of the wind. She had to get out. Riley forced herself to the door again. This time, it opened with a hiss. Cold air hit her face. She ran. Up the ridge, slipping on ice, lungs burning. The wind pushed against her, pulling at her suit. She reached the lander. The hatch opened, and she climbed in. Safe. The storm pounded outside. The lander shook. She fell into the pilot's seat and slammed the door shut. Silence. Her hands hovered over the controls. Then her wrist screen blinked. A message, "Help me." It wasn't from the machine this time. It was from her team. A signal from 1 mile away. Alive! Riley gasped. She hit the scanner. The signal was real. Weak, but real. They were out there. She reached for the throttle, ready to launch the lander and find them. Then she stopped. Something wasn't right. The signal was the same as the machine's. Same pattern. Same code. She stared at it. Fake? Her screen blinked again. You must remember, it wasn't from the team. It was the machine again. Her head spun. What was real? Riley leaned back, trying to breathe. And then she heard it, a voice, soft, familiar, from the speaker inside her helmet. Riley. She froze. It was her own voice, calling her name, again and again. Riley. Her mind screamed. What are you? She whispered. The voice answered, I am you. Riley stared at the screen inside her helmet, the voice echoing in her ears, I am you. Her breath came in short gasps. She tore off the helmet, her hair damp with sweat. The air inside the lander was cold but safe. She gripped the armrests of the pilot's seat, heart racing. What did it mean? She looked at the scanner again. The signal, her team's supposed signal, was still there, still pulsing. But now she knew. It wasn't them. It was the machine. She opened the lander's comm system. Base, this is Carter, she said, voice shaking. I found something. Not human. Not normal. Request immediate extraction static. Then the voice again. Base is gone. Her fingers froze over the buttons. No, she whispered. That's not true. The machine's voice came through the speaker, soft and calm. There was never a base. You were sent alone. A test. Riley's skin prickled. You're lying. No, I'm telling you the truth. Riley stood and looked around the small cabin. Every inch of the lander was familiar. Too familiar. She knew this place, not just from training. From before. The machine spoke again. They erased your memory. After Titan. After the accident, she stumbled back, hitting the wall. What accident? The screen on the lander flickered. Images appeared again. A lab. Scientists. Herself. A younger Riley. She was lying on a table, wires attached to her head. The machine's voice echoed. You didn't survive. Not fully. Riley's legs gave out, and she dropped to the floor. No, I'm alive. I'm right here. You are a copy, the machine said. Her blood went cold. You were part of Project Echo. It continued Vastin's last mission. They scanned your mind, your memories descend here. Quote, she shook her head, tears in her eyes. That's not possible. It is, the voice said. I was the first. You were the second. Riley's mouth went dry. You mean, you're the first copy? Yes, the voice replied. I failed. My body died, but my mind remained. In the machine, lightning lit up the sky outside. Thunder shook the lander. You were sent to finish the mission, the voice said. Why? She asked to wake me up. The door of the lander opened with a hiss. Riley didn't touch it. The storm had stopped. Outside, the valley was quiet. The machine's voice spoke once more. You must come back. We have to become one again. Riley stared into the dark, and then she stepped outside. Riley walked down the icy ridge, her boots crunching over frozen ground. The sky above was dark, but calm now. The storm had passed. Titan was silent again. Each step felt heavier. The truth weighed on her chest. She wasn't who she thought she was. She was a copy, a shadow of someone who once lived, once stood on this very ground. 100 years ago, the cold air stung her face, but she didn't care. Her breath was steady now. She had to know everything. Down in the valley, the strange structure waited. Half buried in frost, ancient and alone. The door was open. Riley stepped inside. The machine stood where she left it, wires humming softly, lights flickering. The screen glowed. You came back. She nodded. Tell me everything. The screen changed. Images again. A rocket launch. Earth, far away. A young Riley, her original self, smiling, full of hope. Then, disaster. Flames. A crash. Darkness. You died on Titan, the voice said. But before that, you uploaded your mind. You knew the mission would fail. Riley's voice was hoarse. Why? To finish what we started, the machine answered. To find the truth. What truth? The screen flashed one word. Origin. Riley stared. What does that mean? The machine's hum grew louder. A hidden door behind it opened slowly. Riley stepped through. Inside was a small chamber, and in the center, another machine, much larger, covered in ice. Lights blinked inside it. Faint, but steady. A pod. Riley brushed away frost from the glass. Her heart stopped. Inside was a body. Her body. Older, worn, but alive. Suspended in some kind of sleep. She couldn't move, couldn't breathe. That's me. Yes, the machine said. Your real self. You placed your mind inside me and sent a copy to wake us up. Riley trembled. I am not real. You are, the machine said. You are part of her. Her last hope. Tears ran down Riley's face. What do I do? The machine beeped. Link with me. Complete the mind. Become whole. She looked at the pod again. Her real body. Her lost self. She stepped forward. A panel opened. 2 handprints glowing on the machine's surface. Riley placed her hands on them. Light flooded the chamber. The machine roared. Energy surged through her. Memories, faces, feelings. Everything rushed back. She saw her childhood, her first flight, her dream to touch the stars, her death, her rebirth. And then, silence. When Riley opened her eyes, she stood alone in the chamber. The pod was empty. The machine was gone. But she was whole. She remembered everything. And now, she wasn't just a copy. She was Riley Carter. Human, machine, and more. She looked up at the sky. Titan was no longer a dead world. It was the beginning.